Coming up on Inside the Summit League, Western Illinois trying to make a move on the league leaders in men's soccer. We've got a little history on a Leatherneck team that has been really good but keeps coming up just short. We got the top two in the standings meeting up in volleyball. South Dakota takes its unbeaten streak to Denver. And another beautiful new home for Summit League basketball in Fargo. North Dakota State's new arena almost ready to go. Hello and welcome to the show. We've got the first league championships of the fall season coming up next weekend. Western Illinois will host the men's and women's cross-country championships on Saturday, October 29th at Spring Lake Park in Macomb, Illinois. Trent Lusignan of South Dakota State and Aaron Teschuk of North Dakota State, they won the individual titles last year. And those two all-time Summit League greats did wrap up their college career. They have moved on, so it's going to be somebody else running to the top next weekend. Joel Reichow is back this year for South Dakota State. He finished second last year. And Robert Murphy is back this year for IUPUI. He finished fifth last year. He led the Jaguars to their second straight team championship. And Murphy, in his senior season this year, he is the Summit League Athlete of the Week for the fourth time this season. Murphy tuned up for the league championships. He had a personal best and a league best time of 24:23.6 at the Indiana State Invitational on Saturday. That time is the second fastest 8,000 meter time in IUPUI school history. Murphy finished 19th in that field that included 41 teams. They had Oregon and Arkansas and Colorado. They finished in the top three spots in the team standings. Those three are all in the top 7 in the nation right now. Anyway, Robert Murphy of IUPUI, one to watch next week at the Summit League Championships. The Women's Athlete of the Week is Emily Dane at South Dakota State. Just a sophomore, finished 9th in last year's Summit League Championships, and she ran a personal best and a league best time of 20:59.9 at the Bradley Classic on Friday. Broke her personal best time by over 58 seconds. Now, she and the Jackrabbits will be chasing South Dakota next week at the Summit League Championships. USD has won the last two women's cross-country team titles. Well, the regular season in women's soccer is winding down as well. Just 2 weeks to go. Everybody with 3 or 4 games left. South Dakota State, Denver, North Dakota State, and Omaha are in the top 4 spots right now. But everybody with a chance to make a move up. Here is the week that was in women's soccer. Start in Vermillion on Friday with South Dakota State at South Dakota. And the Jackrabbits 3-0 in the league coming into this one. And they had a 12-year win streak going against their in-state rivals. And let's look at that first play again. Late in the first half, USD's Caitlin Potacek on a free kick from almost midfield skips by the keeper for the first goal of the game. And it's the first goal of her college career for Potacek. 1-0 Coyotes at halftime. Midway through the second half, Sammy Vilwak carries it up the left side, sends it across to Taryn Labrie in the box. Labrie finishes that off, second collegiate goal for her, and South Dakota in the lead, 2-0 with 21 minutes to play. SDSU gets on the board shortly thereafter, though. Fancy throw-in, and then Nicole Hatcher going to work. First header is off the post, second one is in the net, and it's the third straight game with a goal for Hatcher. South Dakota State cuts the Coyote lead in half. Jacks with one more chance to tie on a corner kick with less than a couple of minutes to play. Not happening. South Dakota beats South Dakota State 2-1. It's the first league loss for SDSU and the first USD win against South Dakota State in 6 matches going back to 2003. In Fargo on Friday night, North Dakota State and Denver. Denver 3-0 in the league. North Dakota State 3-1. And Amy Yang for the Bison. That one goes high and wide. Roxy Raymer puts one on goal. And Brittany Wilson there for Denver. Mariah Haberly on a cross to Holly Enderly for North Dakota State, but no. And then Yang flying in for a shot, and that won't go in. Second half, Bison still pounding away. Brittany Montian fires it in front, and somehow Brittany Wilson reaches in there and makes the save. And then another corner and another close call. North Dakota State outshoots Denver 16-6. Shots on goal 6-2 in favor of the Bison, but nothing gets over the goal line, and they battle to a scoreless draw. And then the Bison right back at it on Sunday against South Dakota State. These two picked to be the top two teams in the league this year. And the Jackrabbits with a goal just over 5 minutes into the match. Tori Poole off a rebound to put it in, her fourth of the season. And South Dakota State up 1-0 very early in the match. After that, though, the keepers keeping it clean. Monica Polgar for North Dakota State. Maggie Smither for South Dakota State. Amy Yang for the Bison with a second half shot that ticks off the top of the cage. Nothing for the Bison, though. SDSU with a road win, 1-0 is the final. And the Jackrabbits are the league leaders at 4-1. Players of the Week in women's soccer. Caitlin Potachik at South Dakota, junior from Owatonna, Minnesota. She gets her first career goal against the Jackrabbits, anchors the defense that holds the Rabbits to just a single score in that 2-1 win. Lexi Jones at Oral Roberts is a sophomore from Oklahoma City. She had a hat trick against Fort Wayne. All three of those goals coming in less than a 15-minute span in the first half. ORU won that match 7-1, and then they followed up with a 6-1 win over IUPUI. Jones adds 2 more goals in that match. That is a 10-point week. And Lexi Jones is now the league leader in points with 19. She is the league leader in goals with 9 so far. Oral Roberts is at home this weekend. Here is what else is coming up in women's soccer. Well, men's soccer coming up next. One of the most spectacular near misses you will see all season. And Western Illinois putting together another good campaign, but will it be enough to keep up with Denver and Omaha?
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn.
Welcome back. Now to men's soccer, and it has been a long season for the guys at IUPUI. 1-12 overall on this season. They're 0-4 in the league so far. Almost got Denver a couple of weeks ago, but lost that match 1-0. But the Jaguars have definitely provided some highlights. This is Uriel Macias against Cincinnati last week, and that is an unbelievably athletic move. Didn't go in the net, of course, but still, that is amazing. And unfortunately, the Jags dropped that match to Cincinnati 3-0. Meanwhile, what about Western Illinois is my question. The Leathernecks have been one of the best teams in the Summit League for the last decade. Western is 6-6 overall so far this year. They are 2-1 in the league. They wiped out Oral Roberts a week ago Wednesday in this match with first half goals by Jacob Bjornsson and then Fernando Pacheca. And look at the wheels on Pacheca going after this one. Aziz Tahir gets his first goal of the season in the second half. Western wins this one 4-0. And the Leathernecks are really good. They have one of the best goalkeepers in the league in Tim Hansen, but they keep running into Denver. And here are the finals from this last Saturday's matches. Omaha gets to 3-0 in league play after a win at Fort Wayne. Oral Roberts gets by IUPUI 2-0. And Denver beats Western Illinois 2-0 as they continue to win in what has become a pretty good rivalry between those two squads. Here's some history. Denver beat Western in the Summit League Tournament semifinals last year. Denver beat Western in the tournament championship the 2 years before that. Western Illinois had won the league tournament the 2 years before that, but that, of course, was before Denver joined the Summit League. So, can Western Illinois or Omaha or somebody break through this year and get to the Pioneers, get by the Pioneers? It's going to be tough. Denver stays number 5 in the country this week in the coaches poll, And the Pioneers have the Summit League Players of the Week again. Blake Elder on offense, a junior from Fort Worth, Texas. He had the game-winning goal against Butler and got off 2 of Denver's 12 shots in that win over Western Illinois. Reagan Dunk is the Defensive Player of the Week. A senior from Dallas had the assist on that goal by Blake Elder in the win over Butler. And Dunk leads that Denver defense to 2 more shutouts. Denver has 8 shutouts in its last 9 matches. And Denver still has to play at Omaha. That is not until next weekend. Here is what's coming up this week in Summit League men's soccer. Volleyball coming up next. A clash of the Titans in Denver. The Pioneers trying to knock off unbeaten Summit League leader South Dakota. Welcome back. Now to volleyball. South Dakota has been a great story so far this season. The Coyotes went 11-2 in the preseason and then kept right on rolling into Summit League play. They were 7-0 in the league until Denver finally knocked them off on Sunday afternoon. South Dakota starts the weekend on Friday night in Omaha, and they split the first 2 sets. Audrey Rieg with the kill for the Coyotes. USD wins set 1, 25-16. Mavericks come back in the second set. Off a scramble, Elise Brown makes a play for the final point, and Omaha takes set 2, 25-19. Third set, Ellie Brown, big hammer there for Omaha, but South Dakota wins the third set, 25-16. And then in the fourth, long rally to end it. Brittany Jessen swinging for South Dakota, and then Sydney O'Shaughnessy digging for Omaha. But Rieg and Kelly Bergini blocking for the Coyotes. That's the final point, and South Dakota beats Omaha 3-1. So, South Dakota 7-0 in league play, going to Denver on Sunday. And they played 3 tough sets, and Denver wins all 3 of them. Moni Correjedo and Emma Willis on the block for Denver. The Pioneers with twice as many total blocks in the match. And another one on the other side by Becca Latham. Piesha Bateju with the assist, and a wicked kill by Correjedo, and Denver pretty much in control all night. The Denver men's swim team out to show some support in their Speedos for this one. Ruth Okoye floating in with a tip for Denver. She leads the Pioneers with 13 kills. Becca Latham next in line with 8 kills. Another rocket there from her. Audrey Rieg, 15 kills for South Dakota, but the Coyotes suffer their first loss in Summit League play. Denver wins 25-23, 25-18, and 25-21. South Dakota goes to 7-1 in league play, and Denver right behind them at 6-2. Well, more volleyball coming up. A weekend sweep for IUPUI, and the Jaguars now have the longest win streak in the league. Welcome back to volleyball. Exactly halfway through the Summit League season right now. South Dakota still the league leader at 7-1. North Dakota State making a move down this week with a couple of losses. IUPUI moving up. The Jaguars have won 3 in a row now. And Laura Milos at Oral Roberts still in the top 5 in the country in almost all of the offensive stats. Here's the rest of the week that was in volleyball. In Fort Wayne on Friday night, first of 3 matches in 5 days for the Mastodons, and taking on South Dakota State in this one. Madison Jakeway, 4 service aces for Fort Wayne. She had not had more than 1 in any match prior to this. Jakeway also with 42 assists in 4 sets. Nicole Reitnauer with a match-high 18 kills for the Dons, and Fort Wayne had 4 players in double digits for kills. Natalie Seiler, 11 kills in 17 attacks as Fort Wayne hits 250 for the match. South Dakota State hits a respectable 211. Ashley Beener, their leading hitter on the season with 15 kills, and the Jackrabbits win the second set, but Fort Wayne too much at home. The Dons win in 4 and run their Summit League record to 5-1. Well, we showed you Denver's win over South Dakota on Sunday. Here is Denver against North Dakota State in a 5-set match on Friday night. 31 digs for North Dakota State's Michaela Purnell. She had a player of the week kind of week for the Bison. Denver wins the first 2 sets. 6'3" junior Kayla Principato swinging from the right side. She leads Denver with 19 kills. And we jump ahead to the fifth set. Emily Myron puts North Dakota State ahead 14-13. And then Denver goes to Principato on the next point to tie it at 14. And then Denver leading 15-14. Big dig by Cassie Baird for Denver. Purnell digs it out at the other end for North Dakota State. Denver with a block and then another block. And the Pioneers will finally win the long rally for the final point, 16-14 in the fifth, as Denver beats North Dakota State. Well, the Bison stay on the road and play 5 more sets on at Omaha on Sunday. Great rally in the first set. Great dig by Sydney O'Shaughnessy for Omaha. A block by the Bison and a save by Erica Gelsenite. Mavericks hit it out and the Bison win set 1. Mavericks come back in set 2. Big swing by Amanda Conlon. And then Ellie Brown on the slide and the assist from O'Shaughnessy. Omaha takes the second set. And they do it again in the third. Chloe Doucette with one of her 20 kills for Omaha. And then another great dig and a quick dump by the setter O'Shaughnessy. Omaha wins the third set. Bison come back, rally in the fourth. Big kill by Emily Myron. And North Dakota State 25-17 in the fourth. And then in the fifth, Mavericks blocking with Ellie Brown. Omaha gets a big win at home, 3-2 over North Dakota State. And in Indianapolis on Tuesday, Eye of the Jaguar, IUPUI hosting Fort Wayne. And a great match. They go 5 sets. Nobody wins by more than 3 points in the first 4 sets. Corey Walbrecht with 19 kills for the Jaguars. Alexis Mapes with 61 assists for IUPUI. Gabby Fisher adds 16 kills. IUPUI gets down 2 sets to none, and then they rally to push it to a 5th set. They take over from there. Fisher with the final kill of the match. And both of these teams now 5-3 in the league, tied for 3rd place behind South Dakota and Denver. Volleyball players of the week, Abby Boatman at IUPUI, a sophomore from Bloomington, Indiana, had 3 solo blocks, 7 assists in a win over Oral Roberts. She averaged 2.5 blocks per set for the week. Michaela Purnell at North Dakota State is a junior from Excelsior, Minnesota. 3 straight matches with at least 30 digs, including a career-high 35 at Omaha on Sunday. Purnell is now tied for the league lead in digs per set. And Laura Milosh at Oral Roberts, a junior from Croatia. She had at least 20 kills in 3 straight matches, 21 against Denver, 27 at IUPUI, had 20 at Fort Wayne. And Milosh is the only player in the league with more than 300 kills right now, and she's got more than 417. That is 5th in the country. And she also leads the league at 5.64 kills per set. That is 3rd in the national rankings. Well, Milosh and Oral Roberts with 2 big matches coming up this weekend, hosting South Dakota and North Dakota State. Here is the rest of the volleyball schedule. We got basketball when we come back. Hear from the Summit League men's favorites at Fort Wayne and a look inside the brand new Sanford Health Athletic Complex on campus at North Dakota State.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn.
Welcome back. The Fort Wayne men's and women's basketball teams have their annual Mastodon Madness event coming up on Thursday, October 27th. The Mastodon men are picked to win the Summer League regular season title this season. Here are head coach John Kaufman and his guys at their annual tip-off luncheon.
The luncheon tips off the start of the season, per its name, and it's always exciting to see our supporters out in mass and get to share sort of our perspective of last year and lock in on the newcomers as well and talk about what our look is going to be this year. So this is an exciting group and coming off of an exciting year. So I'm looking forward to this season, looking forward to this group, watching them grow and develop, and each team has a new personality, and I'm really proud of our off-season work and looking forward to watching this group grow with its new personality.
4 years kind of flew by. I didn't ever think I'd really be here, to be honest with you, but it's been a really cool experience, and hopefully we can do something special this year and kind of put Fort Wayne on the map for us. So,
I mean, it's the first time I guess I don't have the new shirt on, the new brand, but it's just good for the city, good for the fans to come out, show their support, and show the new guys how we do things.
Really, I'm just expecting to get better every day. Come in, be better today than we were yesterday, be better tomorrow than we were today. The nice part of having a mature program, one that's gone to 3 straight postseasons, that's won 81 games over the last 4 years, is that you don't have to build up expectations. You don't have to write a goals board with this group. I mean, our goals, they're known within the program. The guys know what they want to do, and I'm not saying they're not talking about back in their apartments, but we're not looking ahead.
Well, Fort Wayne and South Dakota State and North Dakota State are all expected to be good again in men's basketball. And in Fargo, North Dakota State showing off its new basketball arena earlier this week. The Shields Center will be the new home floor for men's and women's basketball this season. And it sits inside the Sanford Health Athletic Complex, which also houses practice courts, the new weight room, some pretty sweet new locker rooms, as well as an academic center and administrative offices. They are putting on the final touches, and it will be ready for hoops when the Bison men play an exhibition game coming up in 2 weeks on November 2nd. And North Dakota State and the University of South Dakota with shiny new basketball arenas for summer league teams to visit coming up this year. We'll see you next week.